This episode of Philly Fame TV is sponsored by Top Dog Law. Now y'all already know who to call for any accidents or injury cases. If you want that top dollar, you better get at Top Dog. You can hit him up on Instagram at Top Dog Law or visit his website www.topdoglaw.com. Philly Fame. Alright, welcome back to Philly Fame TV once again. We're on episode 13 of What Happened To, and this episode we're going to feature, my guy NH. What happened to NH and where is he now? Like all these episodes, they are special editions in my opinion, but this one definitely a little different because, NH really my guy. I fuck with everybody, but me and him got a different rapport, different relationship. Outside of the people from my hood and people that I grew up with and I really knew like that. Outside of rap, as far as like the people I knew through rap, NH definitely, one of my guys for sure. So this episode definitely gonna be, a special joint for me. And I'm gonna tell y'all how, we met and all of that. We're gonna get into that story. NH did multiple DVD on damn near all our DVDs. And as far as Philly Fame TV, if you've been following the page and following the channel, he been all over, from early days up until recent times. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. And put this disclaimer out there before I jump into it, like I do with all these episodes. This is not his official story from beginning till now. It's more so I'm gonna touch on some of his story, and I'm gonna give y'all my perspective. Like I say in all these genres, but because we did multiple interviews with him and he touched on a lot of his story, a lot of this gonna be from his own words. So we did cover, a good majority of his story for the most part. So this is gonna be kinda like his official story, but not really, just this is the Philly Fame TV edition. So, we're gonna go with, right from the beginning, NH, his name, Naturally Hot. I think he said one of his homies kind of gave him the name and he shortened it to NH and was rocking with that from there. If you know NH and you've been following his career, he always been repping Johnson Homes, Soul City. That's where he's from, 25th and Bricks, around that area and all that. And it's pretty well documented in his music, and he even mentioned this in the interview that we did, the first interview that we did, about him having a rough upbringing as far as like his mom being on drugs, his dad being on drugs. At the time we did the interview, he said, he said I was on, my dad on drugs now, so he always been open and honest about, that type of stuff. And, he come from that era, like a lot of people, parents did, was on drugs and, fell victim to that, that situation, the 80s and all that. So, like I said, he's from 25th and Bricks. And if y'all familiar with Meek's story, from him being from North, Meek from 23rd and Bricks. So, NH and Meek know each other from little kids. So they know each other, since young boy days and all that. They went to, according to NH, that's one of the things he mentioned in one of the interviews that we did. They went to the same schools and all that early on, so once they start rapping as young boys and all that, he's basically we used to be writing with each other, used to be at his crib and all that type. They used to be rocking together as kids on the rap type time, and so Meek was one of the first people that NH was rapping with. And they was a part of a crew early on called Lights Out Clip. Meek, NH, a guy named Pep Shooter. We actually got Pep Shooter. I did an interview with him and he spoke on it. So you and Meek actually, y'all from the same hood, so y'all basically came up together, started rapping together first. So tell people a little bit about that,
It was like I said, me and Meek went to the same schools. I'm from 25th and Bricks, Johnson Home. Meek from a block away Young Bob is from the other block away. So he always been my friend. You feel me? So like me and Meek, like we had a different relationship than Bob. Bob was a little older than that's kind of like our old head. But like I used to go to Meek crib, write raps, everything. Like we had his old head named Bobby Locke. He had a studio in his basement. Me and Meek family, we would start recording in his basement, we was making a bunch of songs together and shit. Yeah, started this lights out click shit. Me, Pep Shooter, and him. And we was running with that shit for a little minute. And like that was my guy. I go to his crib and he come through, he holler at me every time. He around the way, he holler at me. Every time he anywhere, he asked you where H at. I mean, so it was like we was on that level, like, you know what I mean? So like we was like that. That's my nigga.
Long story short, my cousin Rel, rest in peace Rel, he went to Rhodes at the time. This before Rhodes was all girls school, and him and NH was cool. I ain't gonna put NH's real name out there, but he introduced me as his real name. And he was like, yo, my man, my best friend, I rap, you rap, I know you starting your little record label. Man, mind you, at the time, he's 14. So my cousin, he a little, rest in peace him, man, but he was a year younger than me. But he like, I know you taking it serious and you gonna do this. He hot. Long story short, me and Rel link up. We go to the Johnson homes. We knock on this lady door. This lady comes to the door. This old lady. We ask for NH. He say his real name. She look at us like, mind you, it's like 9 o'clock at night. She's like, no, he ain't here. I'm like, alright, he leave. So me, I'm on some shit. Man, that nigga there, he did some scary shit. He probably told her not to come. He like, no, bro, he ain't there. I already told him about you, boom, boom. So like the next day we go back, knock on the door, NH comes to the door, and me and NH rap for like an hour. He rapped for me. I spit, he spit, I spit. I'm real competitive. So he just was going, and I'm going, he going, I'm going, boom. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm starting the label, boom, boom, this and that, boom, boom. I pull a contract out. I had a book bag, pull a contract out. Nigga sign that shit. Real name, stage name, NH. I signed my name. I told him I gotta get my partner to sign his name, which was Ty. Take it back to Ty. Ty took my word for him, like, yo, he hot when we signed it. And that, I think it was that summer, or coming into the summer, my man Ty come to me like, yo, I got this, my man, he not rap, he hot. So I'm like, who? Like, you ain't gonna believe me. Like, you see him every day. We be together every day. So I'm like, who? He like, Rameek. So I'm like, Rameek rap? He like, yeah. He hot. I'm like, alright. So I'm gonna rap for me. He like, say no more. Later on that day, we at the Pile, 23rd Street. He rap for me. Same thing with NH. We go, I'm rapping, he rapping, I'm rapping, he rapping. He ain't have a lot of raps back then. He just started. Rap. Yeah, you nice, man. You on the label. And he was forward. Like he was looking to like find some, like a home, I guess, so to speak. Signed me. I mean, that's how I found out his real name. I ain't know his real, I thought his real name was Rameek back then. His real name, stage name. His name was just Meek Millions. And me and Ty, and we just started working on tapes and shit.
I mean, so it was them three and a couple other people. So one of the, I guess one of the old heads from the neighborhood kind of put it together. And I mean, it was a little crew. And Meek even spoke about this. Meek did an interview maybe like a year or two ago, something like that, with a guy named Speedy Mormon. And he mentioned, he ain't go too deep into it, but he mentioned like he was a part of a crew called Lights Out Click and all that before. So yeah, they actually was a clique before, I mean. So this is prior to Meek, you know, going out, being out South Philly heavy and forming with the Bloodhounds and all that. This is before all of that. I mean, so, and another person that NH grew up with, I mean, that was from that area too, was Magic. I mean, you know Magic from that area too, so he knew NH as young boys. When I did an interview with Magic, I mean, he kind of spoke on that too.
Give you a little bit of background. North Philly small, y'all know North Philly small. So back in those days, like if you rap and you was hot, you had to know who was hot. So it's just like me, Had, H, like these guys. H was younger than us. He is younger than us. But these names was buzzing around the area, so you got to go to the different neighborhoods and battle and get in touch. So it's before internet, it's before MySpace, any of that. Like you just had to be known, like your name carried you, and we just bumped shoulders. I lived in 5 different neighborhoods. I'm gonna give y'all some information about H. I live in 5 neighborhoods in the city. That nigga been in 3 of my cribs. You know where I live at right now. That's really my guy. Like we grew up, we from the mud, sandbox type shit. So like the loyalty is just real.
And each guy's name, I mean, in the city, like a lot of people did, you know, as far as battling and all of that, trying, you know, that's the era where you was trying to hunt people down. I mean, whoever had a name and battle. And early on, like, you know, when Hollow Man had the wave, Hollow was the guy, and H actually tried to battle him before. I mean, like, and mind you, and H a young boy, like, compared to Hollow. Like, Hollow got him by some years, so, but NH was hungry, and Hollow had the name, so he slid up on him. I mean, he told the story in one of our interviews, he slid up on him, tried to battle him, but, you know, like I said, because NH was so young, like, Hollow ain't battle him. He looked like NH, like he a young boy to him, so he pretty much got him to battle F.A.M.E. Haas. I mean, F.A.M.E. Haas was a young boy in the hood. Tom was rapping, and him and NH was the same age. So Haas was rapping early too as a young boy. He was nice in the hood, and NH was rapping as a young boy, so they pretty much battle and all that. I wasn't there. I wish I was, because obviously ain't no footage and none of that. This wasn't that era, but I know that was a crazy battle at that time. I mean, for sure. I just wish I was there to see it. But, you know, shout out to F.A.M.E. Haas. He definitely shout out Haas. Haas him and Haas cool and all that too. I mean, so.
Man, like, a lot of niggas will tell you I was buzz chasing out this joint. I was trying to get hot. By any means, any circumstances, I done pulled up on the greatest ones. They'll tell you the stories. Hollow Man, pulled up on Hollow Man. Shout out to Hollow Man. And man, we ain't battle. I told you that we ain't battle. He got his young in the battle. Shout out to F.A.M.E. from Benigno Street.
Yeah, F.A.M.E. Haas.
He got F.A.M.E. Haas to come in and battle. But I came in there for Hollow Man. He'll tell you.
That was a crazy joint, and he spoke on other people he ran down on and tried battle. Like, he tried battle Vodka before. I'm not sure if he actually battled him. He said he definitely tried to battle him. I'm not sure if they battled or not though. But he definitely battled Cree Forge before. I mean, he said that's the only battle that he lost. Like, he admitted that he lost. Like, he said because he battled a couple other people before he battled Cree. Say he battled Del P, if some people familiar with him. I mean, he been rapping in the city for a little minute. Say he battled him and a couple other people, and then he battled Cree. I mean, so he said by the time he battled Cree, he was short on gas, but he said Cree got him out. And Cree was one of them people back then at that time, as far as the battle type time. A lot of people don't give him his credit, I mean, speak on that, but Cree definitely was one of them. And he said that was all through the bull OG Pac-Up, y'all. Been watching the channel, following these interviews, a lot of them Touch Money top class guys, and some of the people from that era mentioned Paco as far as like him getting a lot of them guys to battle each other and all that, like the Boom, and you know, a lot of them guys on that side, I think Young Hot, a lot of them guys mention Paco name when they come to these battles and stuff like that. And then a mix of him running down and battling people, you know, he say he actually battled Quill before. He battled Head before. They both talked about this in their interviews. I mean, they battled each other and all this.
So, I come up there. I'm with Dynamite. Dynamite out there. He like, I got whatever on my guy. I got whatever on.
You talking about the boxers, Dynamite?
Yeah. So I'm out there, Dynamite. I don't know if Shark was out there too. So NH out there. I'm motherfucking Wesley Snipes, white man can't jump in niggas. This is what I was doing. I used to Ric Flair everybody. So, you know Ric Flair, he get in the corner, act like he's bitching and all that, then woo, chop you on your neck, it's on and popping. He get the show on the road. I'm faking like I can't rap and freestyle, and they like, yo, we bet whatever, we got this on 8. Dynamite, I got whatever on my man, So I freestyle some bullshit. They like, 8, you better bite his fucking head off. Soon as you, 8, go right at this nigga. He corny as fuck. I'm just laughing like they don't even know. I'm something else. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So H say some shit, he go the fuck off. I'm like, damn, he hot as shit. I go right in. Jihad, I'm the bull with the war on his hip. When it rides, it can stir fry or boil your shit. Ooh, I get the job done. Oil with a brick. I'm the one with the Cy Young. Boy, I could pitch. H knew who I was. He said, oh shit, you the boy Joey Jihad. Look, so the battle going on, we step to the side and start chopping it, but we supposed to be rapping. I chill in the middle of my rap. I'm chopping, yo, get my handle and all that shit. I think we had house phones at this time. I don't know if we probably did. So I don't think it was cell phones yet. I know I gave him my number. Yo, we gonna get together. Let's finish the battle though. So he get my number, we get each other's number. We battle. We go at each other. We go 3 rounds. So, you know, after the battle, Dynamite and them, like he was behind whatever I was doing. Like to this day, he'll fuck with whatever I'm doing. If I say I'm doing something, he coming out for the guy. If I tell Sharp, he coming out for the guy. So after me and H battle right there, it was like I don't know, we won 1 or 2 or 3 rounds or whatever it was. I had a lot of raps at this time, so I was the shit. So I get his handle. So you know, it was like a crowd going. Whoever they could say whoever won. His guys thought he won. I thought I won. I know he thought he won, but he knew I was the shit. I knew he was the shit. I get his number. We link up after that. He become a go-getter because I just started this go-getter shit. So it's me, it's NH. I battle Quill the same kind of way. Get Quill. D Jones wasn't a rapper. He just was my hype man and my little brother. And
I mean, and this what the story kind of, as far as what had, it get kind of as far as like I'm saying that NH was part of Go Getters before and all that. Him and Quilly, because he said after he been courting ahead, we ain't never get the confirmation from the other side, but courting ahead, you know, NH was a part of Go Getters before early on. I mean, after had battled him and all that. He said around this time, him and Quilly was around too at the same time at some point in time. I ain't never really get the confirmation side from NH, but he definitely was on a song with them early on. Like, and I'll touch on that a little bit more later. But prior to NH getting rolling and people starting to hear about him and on them DVDs and getting the ball rolling, popping with Touch Money and all that, prior to all of that, he suffered a traumatic loss. I mean, early on as a young boy, probably like 14 years old. I mean, his homie, his right-hand man, his homie Lil, I mean, that was his best friend. And that was actually Johnny Mac, big brother. I mean,
R.P. Lil, man, my brother. My brother died, man. Fucking Strawberry Mansion let out, man. Shootout. He got killed, man. Shit fucking ruined my life, man. I got my brother on my fucking arm by like 3 times. Like, never tattoo. R.P. Bubby V. That's another friend of mine that got killed. But my brother, he got killed when he was sad, man. He got killed when he was 16. He was 16. You know, Strawberry Mansion let out and shit. Situation happened. Make a long story short, he got killed. He got shot up. You know, leaving school, like when school hours and shit like that. It was crazy. The whole city went crazy. It was crazy, man. It started a war from on this side to the next side and shit on 33rd and shit. A lot of motherfuckers lost their life from that shit, man. A lot of people lost their life. A lot of people is in jail for that shit. Free Rob Lowe, free the whole game, man. There's a lot of niggas that went to jail for life from that shit, man. And you know, that war started over me losing my brother and shit like that, man. Lil was a good nigga. Like, my brother was a good nigga and he was young, doing big man shit, had big man money, and he was just fast. He was fast and shit. But H, so people don't understand and shit. H and him was like this. Like, him and H, they was like this and shit. Like, and you know, H, you know, not to get all in H personal business, but his mom and dad was on drugs and whatever the case may be, and my mom took H in and shit like that, and you know, and we was brothers ever since. Like, you know what I mean, H literally lived, we really been raised together by the same mom. Like, you know what I mean, shout out to my mom and shit. She even, you know, her losing Lil and her losing, you know, a son, you know what I mean, it fucked her up, it fucked us up. But me and H always, you know, continue to keep that bond and shit like that. Even when he went to West Philly, you know what I mean? He went to West Philly, and niggas don't know H been fucking with Meek Mills and all them niggas, cause Meek is from around the corner from right where we at and shit. Like they was a rap group at first and shit, and Lil, my brother, was a part of that shit, and he was putting the bag up with a lot of different things and shit. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, H been bro and shit. So
that's my right hand man. Like his brother was my right hand man. I always, after his brother died, I always told him like, yo, I got you. And I stand by that. Like I told you, I'm real heavy with my shit I stand on. You feel me, Sho? Promise my man, like anything happen, I got little bro, I got all your brothers, I got all your sisters, your kids. I always told him that shit. So.
And how old was he? He was a young boy when he passed. He was like 15 or something like that?
Yeah, he was like 15.
That's crazy, bro. How old was you at the time? You was the same age?
I think I'm a year younger than bro. Oh, probably, yeah, I'm a year younger than bro.
Damn, that's crazy. So you was a young boy, you was 14.
Yeah. But I mean, my angel a gangster. That shit be living through me though. I mean, he was a gangster for real, like. Like on some real shit, like no cat. Like, he's a real live gangster. Like if if anybody from down the way, they know. He's a real live gangster shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
For real.
Him and Lil was real tight. I mean, and unfortunately he had got killed. I mean, and Johnny Mac, when I did an interview with him, he spoke about this too. I mean, and they talked about it. I mean, and that's kind of how they bond started. I mean, how they got cool and they, I mean, became what they became. I mean, so, but at the time, that's something he had to deal with as a young boy early on. I mean, so. I mean, prior to all of this, I mean, the notoriety and the fame, like he was going through this as a young boy. So, and like I said, that was Johnny Mac, big brother. So after that happened, you know, and they kind of assumed that role for Johnny Mac as his big bro. And I mean, so fast forward, y'all see how they moving today and all of that. Like that come from that period of time. I mean, so. That was a crazy situation for him. I mean, experience as a young boy at that time, early on in that era. Like, you know, it's going on today and it's normal and everybody knew about what's going on with social media and all that today. But back then, it wasn't none of that. You know what I mean? So that's something him and they hood and all of that. I mean, experience as early on. I mean, now we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Give y'all a word from one of our local sponsors. This episode of Philly F.A.M.E TV is brought to you by 1212 plant-based hair care products. These products are good for men and women and best used in barbershops and hair salons. You could pick up some 1212 products at Hair Buzz and Hair Town in Philadelphia. Also shop online 12haircare.com for all deliveries. Now back to regular scheduled programming. So the first DVD he actually appeared on was a Heavy Spitters DVD. He was like 14 at the time. I mean, so while Deuce was there with him too at this time. I mean, at this time they was rapping early on too together. Like they was a little tag team type joint. I mean, they were from the same hood and all that, so they was doing music together. And at this time, they both was on this DVD together. And what's crazy is, I mean, they actually, revealed that they paid to get on this joint. Like, it was like a little registration fee and all that they had to pay. Like, I didn't even know this at the time, but I guess shout out to Slick, Heavy Spitters. I mean, he must have like a little registration fee for up and coming artists who wanted to try out to get on the DVD. So they paid the fee, and he wasn't even guaranteed to get on the joint. I mean, he just had to spit, and if they was hot enough, they can get on it. So it just so happened when NH spit, he said, I mean, you ended up on that joint twice. But he definitely had to pay. That's how hungry he was as a kid. Like, they was trying to get on that joint. I know what I do. So he had to scrape up some bread, and pay the bread, because it was like 50 a piece, so that was 100. I mean, they was like young boys, 14, so he had to scrape up some bread to be able to pay to get on that joint. So, I mean, that just goes to show how hungry he was as a young boy, trying to battle people and trying to pay money to get on DVDs and all that. Like, he really wanted, to be a part of that wave.
Kill that ass for real. Fuck what you heard, man. I'm all about a dollar. These niggas broke. They should wear cash on their wallet. It's It's only one reason that I'm busting the chrome. That's to see more game than a nursing home. I take blocks every day, 7 days a week. Low ass burns need to exchange your heat, cause your brains can meet with a couple of slugs. It's my turn to eat. I'm a double the grub. Look, I'm on a roll. I might get high today. I'm from the hideaway. Talk shit, you can die today. Get bricks, chop them by today. Gucci Vlon, I'm so fly today. I got the right hand right by the K. Now get it in, motherfucker, yes.
I like this young boy right here. I'm bringing right back for y'all.
The dime, I grip the pump with a 9. I got a dangerous mind, you wasting your time. Thinking you gon' jab at a brother. I bust like dirty kids who mad at each other. Send H, and I'm live and raw, ready to ball. Always gonna be better than y'all. So chill, before I pop your top, I pop my Glock. The 6 man, I drop the top.
And mind you, I mean, the first couple Too Raw for the Streets DVDs, I mean, he wasn't on them. He eventually got on the, you know, the Big Star Too Raw for the Streets battle tour when he did the battle against the Bull Balboa. I mean, Philly versus New Jersey. I'll touch on that a little bit later. He eventually got on that, but that first early Jones with it was Cheek Raw, Vodka, Cree Fortune, all of them. He wasn't on them Jones. I mean. But he was inspired by that Cheek Raw freestyle, like just like a lot of other people was, like including Meek. You know what I mean? He said he was inspired by that Cheek Raw joint when he was in the alley. You know what I mean? He had a couple joints. I think the other joint he was in the schoolyard and all that rapping. I mean, behind Roosevelt schoolyard. I mean, he was rapping in that joint. He had the other joint in the alley. The alley joint was a joint that everybody really, you know what I mean, gravitated to. And even Reed, because that's the joint that made Reed even want to go at him. You know what I mean? Go at Cheek. So, another early DVD NH was on was the coldest one that ever joined. I mean, early on as a young boy rapping and all that. So, he was, I mean, out there jumping on shit since he was 14. I mean, out in the public on some big DVDs. Now let's get back to that song he did with Hex. That's the first thing I heard NH on. That's the first time I heard the NH. That Fantastic Four song. I mean, it was him, Head, Reed Dallas, and I believe Reek the Concrete was on that joint because he had introduced NH on that joint before he started rapping, because NH went first, if I ain't mistaken. It's like, yeah, it's my young boy NH, you know what I mean? Because at the time, Reek was around, had he at the time, you know what I mean? He was like the honorary go-getter member, kind of, you know what I mean? And I think Reek was the one that kind of brought NH around, or introduced NH to Head, or I don't know, or some not introduced him, but brought him around, because like I said, NH had battled before. So this one, Head was kind of saying that NH was a part of Go Getters, because at the time he had this song, he was around and they was doing shit together, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, this Rico the Concrete. I brought Joey Jihad with me. My nigga Reed Dallas from SWP. Y'all niggas gotta listen to my young gun NH. Let's go. It's NH, and you know I keep the collie on me. Ride hard till my collie got body on me. Another Honda on me. My man gone, so I take care of all the beef and all the drama born. Bust some cigs and them llamas foreign. Get money, fuck mommy's foreign. Bust them K's and them Tommy's foreign. Look, I've been in the cut for a long time. So whether rap or the crack, I got a strong grind. Brother chrome with a black, I got a long 9 beef while I'm holding this Mac. You picked the wrong time. I'm a rider, don't ever think otherwise. Cold gun, don't mistake me for them other guys. I mean the ones when it's beef, they are running high. You should keep your mouth closed if you don't wanna die. My old hands play with birds like they wanna fly. That's why my SP jeans got the gun inside.
So NH ain't never confirmed. I ain't never ever heard him confirm that he was a part of Go Getters at the time. But I mean, that they did have that song, and I mean, so that kind of, I don't know. Like, I mean, like, gotta get NH to confirm that. But that would have been crazy if he was a part of them at the time. Like, that would have been a crazy little group with NH and Head. I mean, like, that'd have been crazy. So at some point in time, a little later after that Fantastic Four joint, you know, at some point in time, he had joined Touch Money. I mean, and so everybody know, him from that for the most part. Everybody know him from Touch Money. And he said that kind of came about because all of them was like kind of on the Big Star shit together. And once he became a part of the Big Star Battle Tour and all that, all of them guys was on there. Reed, Frankie, Eddie Marsh, Rain Man, all the guys from Touch Money, Top Class, Kaboom, all of them, the people that was around that time, they all was on that type time, on the battle type time. So mind you, NH from North, Brick Street, like I mentioned, Meek and them, Young Bob right around the corner. Like a lot of them guys hit Magic and all, like I said, like all them headshot guys, they all from North, like all from around the same area. Like, but none of them was on the battle tour though. Like, I mean, like, if you think about it, think back to it, like none of them headshot dudes was really on that joint like that, except Had got on there later on, I mean, but outside of that, like none of them guys really was on that joint like that. It was mainly like them Touch Money Top Class guys for the most part. So NH was looking at it like, being so we on the tour together, we kind of built a rapport together and all that. And these guys kind of got the name and the stamp, Reed was on them stamp from the tour off the streets and stuff and all that. Like, them guys had a bigger name, bigger buzz, and they were solidified. So NH, like, I'm looking at an opportunity, like, I'm already locked in with the guys from North that I need to already know all of them. So if I mess with these guys out here, it could make me a bigger name and a bigger star. He was thinking about that as a young boy. Like, he said at the time, OG was already messing with Boom and and he had kind of connected it with Kaboom through a producer, I believe he said. And from there, they connected him with Touch Money Nah. He had rap for Nah, and Nah stamped him like, hey, let's put him down with us and all that.
But it was a studio called The Hideaway, so we would go there with Rated. And there was this kid there named NH. He lived there. You know what I'm saying? He will always be there. And somebody always tell us, yo, boy, crazy, young boy is crazy, yo, like young boy, he nice. So I'm looking like, who the fuck is this dude right here? Like, it was just something about him that just had me like, something. I didn't even hear him rap yet. He just looked it like he could rap. You know what I'm saying? Just was something about him. And then he rapped, and I was just like, yo, he is exactly what I thought he was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So instantly, me and him clicked. Mind you, he's Rated Man. You know what I'm saying? He's Rated. This is my man, Rated Man. You know what I'm saying? But as us coming down there, spending the night at the studio, being there for days and all this other shit, you know what I mean? We started clicking. You know what I'm saying? And
so we end up going down there recording. That's when we recorded Operation Warzone and recorded In the Discussion, B's John, but that got put on hold because H came around. Once H came around, B slowed up because he was doing other shit, and we started focusing on The Hood Raised Me. That's H first CD. And we said we gonna drop them on the same day, so we down there recording or whatever, and we in there. That was our home base, 49th and Baltimore, top class studio.
So yeah.
All right, now, and originally we was only gonna drop Boom CD, and once H started gathering the steam, we said, all right, we gotta do an H project. And H had a lot of shit. That's when we put together The Hood Raised Me. And OG said, let's do one together. But we did all three of them. We did Operation Warzone,
Hood Raised Me, NH John, Operation.
The Hood Raised Me, and this was a top class project what we did with State of Emergency. State of Emergency was a top class project. That's what OG wanted to do, them together. But we did all three of them. And we ended up dropping that. And we was just going from there now.
And that's kind of how the whole situation came with him being a part of Touch Money and Touch Money Top Class clicking up and all. That's how that whole situation kind of came together for him. Like, and like I said, he from North and he from, where the headshot guys and all that from. So he obviously got, backlash from that because he from North and all the, Touch Money Top Class guys, most of them from like West and Southwest and all that, like they mainly from that side of the city, like, and most of the headshot guys are from North, from that side. Where NH from, that whole area around there, like, so that's really like the beginning of the tension between headshots and Touch Money and Top Class, for real. That's really like the beginning of it, because once NH got down with them, I mean, like, it wasn't like no beef or nothing like that. Obviously, they still fuck with NH, but they used to talk their little shit, like pop little shit at him and all that, because he's still from the hood. He's still in the hood. He still be around. Like, but by him being associated with Touch Money and all of that, and being around, I mean, him and Boom being like tag team partners and all of that, like, a lot of people who didn't know was thinking that NH was from West Philly, like, because all them Touch Money, a lot of them dudes was based in West Philly. The hut was in West Philly, and they all used to be at the hut all the time. So a lot of people that didn't really know NH like that and know that he used to rap with Meek and all that, and a lot of people that didn't know that thought NH was from West Philly. So, you know, he definitely got, I mean, that was definitely the beginning of that. I mean, little tension and all that. So like I said, him and Kaboom was partners. They put out, you know, tape together and all that. Classic little joint early on, I believe it's called State of Emergency, if I ain't mistaken. I mean, so that was early on when they had the Touch Money wave rolling. I mean, that's how him and M.I built their rapport. You know, M.I from South Philly. I mean, he actually used to rap with K-Dot before, and I mean, early on, then got down with Touch Money and all that. And, you know, they built a rapport that lasted to this day. You know what I mean? Like, they've been close. Him and M.I been close from that time. I mean, they even talked about they so close they got in the fist fight before. You know, I did an interview with M.I. He talked about that. I mean,
yeah, you be with NH all the time. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all guys, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
You didn't know, because we don't put shit up on the gram. If you know me or you know him, you know we with each other all day, every day. But, you know what I mean? That's my brother. Niggas know it. You don't see me and him, and, I probably done dipped off to do something else, but with him all day, every day. We on some shit.
Right, like y'all homies outside of rap.
Yeah, it's my brother.
So imagine both of y'all going hard on some rap shit, like, you know what I mean? Like,
he be on my ass, bro. He be on my ass, bro. You know, like, I'm telling y'all some shit. Like, me and bro like fought. You know what I mean? Really fist fought, because I ain't want to fucking rap, bro. It was dumb. We laugh at this shit all the time.
Y'all think it's really rebel? Like, y'all was rebelling?
Real rap, man. Real fuck that shit. Next thing you know, I'm saying fuck him, he's saying fuck me, and we in each other's face. Real rap. It's my dog.
Wait, let's jump back a little bit to when NH was in his wreck chasing bag. Like I said, when he was running around battling all of that. I mean, him and Kaboom used to run out to Harlem. I mean, he used to take the train out there, try to battle niggas. He used to pop up at a barbershop and shit like that. Like, yo, who rap? I mean, y'all know anybody that rap? And he said this one time when he went out there, I mean, he just so happened to call T-Rex around. And, he said he was familiar with T-Rex from the DVD, from the Smack DVD and all that, but he wasn't going to turn it down. Mind you, T-Rex older. I mean, got NH for some years, but, you know, NH was wanted. I mean, he wanted the name. He was hungry, so he went at him. I mean, it was a good battle. He said NH battled a guy named Cashflow and all that. I mean, I said NH. He said Kaboom battled a guy named Cashflow. And NH battled T-Rex, so that's how that battle kind of came about.
On the block, I'm the greatest like Ollie. So don't try me, cause I'll get your stupid ass body. So watch what you say out your mouth. NH, I'll blow your brains out your mouth. Smack your workers, rap cane out your house. Real riders know what the route be bout. And I don't care how much your motherfucking watch costs. I'll make you take your motherfucking watch off. Bitch niggas try to run when it pop off. Until you aim at his head, blow his top off. I'm not soft, stop running your face. Before I have to put the gun in your face. Aim it low, pow, put one in his waist. Aim it high, pow, put one in his face.
So now let's jump to the battle against Balboa. Touched on earlier, the two World for the Streets battle toward John. Mind you, like, when he battled T-Rex, he say like 14, 15, somewhere around there. So I mean, so he had a nice little run from the time when he was like 14, 15, running around, making his name on the DVDs and battling people and all that. He had a nice little run from that time. So by the time he battled Balboa, he said he was about like 16, 17 around this time maybe. I mean, so, and then Balboa was older. I mean, and so a lot of people that NH went against, because he was so young when he started. A lot of them dudes that had names and that was worthy of battle and was older. Like a lot of people NH age wasn't, I mean, at the level that he was at. I mean, so he had to go against older people for the most part. That's the people who was around, who was active, who had the names. I mean, so that's another person. This was a setup battle, you know, Big Star John, Philly versus New Jersey. Nobody knew who the Bull Balboa was, but he turned out that, you know, had some shit in that joint. But NH, I mean, went at him, like, for sure. Like how NH was snapping at the time as a young boy. So that turned out to be, you know, a classic battle from that joint. I mean, from that Philly versus Jersey joint right there.
3 for 5, then somersault with it. So when the custies arrive, when none of y'all get it. NH, you should be scared to hate me, bitch. 3 shots land your head, you snake me. And they ain't no hammers like the ones I got. SKs with extra clips and red dots. All I give is neck, hip, and head shots. Whole team blessed with 6's heads drop. What you know about having a big face ball or spending 30 cents in the Beverly Hills Mall? Copping a Q Jeep, keeping it 2 weeks to give it to your man in exchange for 2 freaks. I'm rich now. Niggas say I'm the shit now. Dime bitches giving me brain to spit now. Everything I put in my name legit now, and I still make a nigga strip down. Still chop pounds. Still make a nigga strip down. Still chop pounds with niggas that chop pounds that'll pull up in the pound. Smiling top down with 2 Glock pounds. Smiling pop rounds. I'ma go and grab Teflon on your nut ass. Squeeze to the 9, put 9 in your nut ass. Shine on your nut ass like Josh did on y'all. Come through, black Porsche boxed on y'all. Told y'all ain't no way to stop me, roadie, and the only way to play me is to cop me, roadie.
I mean, so now let's fast forward a little bit to the actual beef with Headshots. Touch Money, Top Class versus Headshots. Like I said, it already began once NH joined them because they felt like he joined their side. He from North, he supposed to be down here with the Headshot people, you know what I mean? So that already was a little tension there. So then Headshots had this battle tournament drawn. They had a battle tournament drawn that was open up to anybody who wanted to battle in it. I mean, they obviously had, you know, some of the Headshot artists in there, but other artists could get in it too. So some of the Touch Money guys was in that joint too. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of other people in the city in that joint too. So it basically came down at the end to NH versus Still. I mean, mind you, like I said, it's a Headshots battle, and Still on Headshot side. And NH, I mean, obviously was with Touch Money at the time. I mean, but mind you, NH from North, he from the same area as Bob, and even the same area as Still just a little older. I mean, got NH by some years, so you know, but they from the same hood, they know each other too, like, you know what I mean? So it come down to them two battling. And NH ended up winning the battle. He had some judges judging the battle. I mean, so he's trying to make it as non-biased as possible. After, you know, they went, I think, however many rounds they went, I mean, the judges said NH won. So it was a trophy on the line and like a cash prize. I forget how much. Might have been like 500 or something like that. Maybe, I don't know how much the money. I forget how much it was, but it was some bread on the line and a trophy on the line. And NH ended up winning over Still. So it's crazy because we ended up getting some exclusive footage with them right after that. I think Face went up to the hut and NH was sitting there with Nah, I think Boom, and somebody else was there. And he had the trophy and they was talking about he just won this John from the Bull Still. Like, he just won this, I mean, like. So after that battle, that's when it really, like, the tension that was already a little bit there really kind of flared up, because NH, you from North, you supposed to be down here with us, but you rapping with them, and then you come to our event, the Headshot event, and then you win over, and they take the trophy back with them. So that was like, all right, it's really up now. So after that, they really started running down. Headshot guys really was trying battle. I mean, running down the bit. So that's kind of how the Still Kaboom battle happened. That was a classic battle. Because after that, still wanted his get back. So, and I mean, Headshot's wanted their get back. So they was popping up at the hut and popping up trying battle, and that's how that situation happened. But NH was on house arrest during this time. Like after the Headshots battle, I guess he got into something, and he was on house arrest. So when they was popping up trying battle and all that, NH wasn't around. So that's how Still and Kaboom ended up happening, because NH wasn't even there. Like, I mean, so from the NH battle was Still to the Kaboom battle was Still. Now after that, it's starting to go down. Like, so from there, that's when it started getting into the Frankie and Hattie. Then from there go to Reed, Hattie, Meek and all that. Like it started getting, so now the crazy underlying narrative or storyline in this battle, which was crazy too, was Meek and NH. Mind you, they grew up together. They from the same hood. They sandbox. Pretty much. And they used to rap together. They used to be on the same rap team prior to Meek going to South Philly and being down there more, and then linking with Bloodhounds, and then he ended up linking with Headshots. Being down with Headshots. And then this is before, NH went to Touch Money, and now, on that side. So now they on the sides that they on, and now they sides going at it with each other. So now Meek and NH, cool, they always had their relationship, and now because they on opposite sides, now they ended up going at each other. Throwing some shots at each other. Some legendary freestyles came out of that. Like, and the one joint that I think NH had two joints going at me, but he had one joint on Headshots DVD, because mind you, they was going at each other. They still was throwing shit together. Like Bob still was going to them niggas. They still was getting them niggas on DVDs. Them still was doing business together and shit. Like, so that whole situation was crazy. Like, but he had a crazy joint on the Headshot joint. I got a message, nigga, pardon me. I understand they Bloodhounds, but why the fuck they bark at me? And he was going at all of them. And then he had another joint where you spitting talking about Meek, I'ma fuck your ass up, you too bony. What you say? How you gonna seek Meek on me? You know what I'm saying? Meek, I fuck your ass up, you too bony, B. Like, some shit like that.
A little message for them VH boys. They need to change their name to the We Hate Boys. All they do is hate on me. They know I got that 8 on me. I roll right down on 18th Street and leave his face and chest on me. How they gon' sick Meek on me? He gon' need his homies, B. Fucked up, I fuck his ass up. He too bony, B. No, you ain't my homie, B. You know I got that chrome on me. I fuck around and put a bullet where your head's supposed to be. VH, they straight plugs in the game. I Mel Stream me a thug, put his love in his name. I'm right hand 3D, but these haters can't see me. They diss me on the track to promote they little CD. But now they on my dick, man, they probably wanna beat me. Or walk me to the store, they some bitches and whores. Guess I'm talking about them Bloodhounds. Them niggas thugs now. They need to hop they dirty asses in the tub now.
And then Meek had a joint going at NH, going hard as shit at NH.
Listen, it's time to put this chump in his place. I got a bean for every bump on your face. Fucking pussy boy, cookie boy, we eat niggas like you for lunch. You move a jump, that Ruger dump, to move your front. North side of bitch nigga, south side of weirdo. West Philly wanna be, southwest is scared hoe. NH, you been fake, far back as years go. Coming out your lips, talking all that, your head go. Off with that, you would get the staples, no office man. Boys turn you into a target, I'm launching that. Haters care less of them. I leave you niggas out there talking all that shit. We riding on 20s and I ain't talking about no rims, nigga. And they choose a pussy, man. I know you stopped.
Hey, so they was going at each other. That was a crazy little back and forth, and it was just crazy how them two ended up going at each other when they originally started together. But eventually, as you all know the story, as far as like the beef got squashed and all that. But the main narrative about the beef getting squashed always been with the Hattie and Gilly and Reed, the Three Kings situation. But an underlying story or a story that's not as known as far as how the beef got squashed is with Oskino bringing NH and Meek together. Now, mind you, I mean, when NH told the story in the interview that we did, he was like, when Reed and Hattie squashed their beef with Gilly, he said, like, a lot of them didn't even know about it. Like, no, they ain't, like, that was like something that Gilly kind of brung Hattie and Reed together, and they announced it on the radio, and that's when niggas found out about it. Like, he's like, niggas, they announced the Three Kings song, like, they did the song together, and they dropped on the radio, and that's when people knew that they had squashed it. But prior to that, nobody really knew nothing, about them squashing it. So, far as Hattie and Reed, they was squashed, but the rest of them, everybody else, these situations wasn't squashed all the way. Niggas still like felt some type of way or whatever. But he said Oskino had a relationship with Hattie at the time. That was Oskino was the old big homie to Meek and NH, and a couple of them guys used to like fuck with him heavy and all of that. It's well documented. Oskino talked about this. Some of them talked about this. So Oskino had a rapport with NH and Meek. So he pretty much reached out to them two. Being so they was on opposite sides and they was going at each other. So he reached out to them two so he can squash the beef with them.
Now, Oskino called Meek and NH. He never told me Meek and NH was coming. He never told Meek and NH I was coming. So we both pulled up at the same time. Meek and them hop out, we hop out. Rip, Oskino, that's like Meek's big brother, that's like my big brother. He grabbed me and Meek, fuck the entourage. He like, no, this y'all my little brothers. You're not doing this. You know what I mean? I care about y'all more than all of these niggas. We gonna go in here, we gonna squash the shit, we gonna do a record together, it'll be better for marketing, it'll be better for this. And on the strength of Oskino being an OG, and me and Meek already, being alright, it was like, man, that shit was rap. So we went in there, we did a song together, me, Oskino, that nigga Lil, Meek, and Kaboom.
So the Had, Reed, and Gilly shit was more like bigger and publicized and all of that, because obviously Hattie and Reed shit became the main topic and all that. But the underlying theme at the time was the Meek and NH shit. But Hattie and Reed was the bigger names at the time, so that was the bigger draw, and that's what everybody pretty much knew about more.